Idiotic
I'm
man.
going to introduce you from left to right on my screen. We have the best, and then of the best, and then of the best. We are the best
I'm
of the best of the
special.
best, sir. Man in Black reference, if you get it at all.
Yeah.
It's too bad we're
special.
missing one teammate.
Oh, my dumbass didn't know we can color the guns.
Doesn't look really good fits you if you use the multicam. Still outside. I don't think you even have the game. Do you even have the game? And probably the
There you
game to
go.
remote.
I
Yeah,
have a
fair
red
enough.
L85. We have the same gun, mate. No, right?
No, I have the dawg.
You use the L85 now.
I do, yeah.
You are over
Oh,
the
yeah,
budget
the
on my
Eagle.
screen. How big is it? 10
I'm
gigs,
not.
10, 11,
15.
15. Outside the mods.
I am under budget actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It still says the over the budget thing.
How many over the budget if you can tell?
I don't know. Oh, it's not over the budget anymore. That's
So just
doable.
one
That's
over the
great.
budget. I just removed my ear protection.
I'll be grabbing some water in the meantime.
It really is a straight up like a pull from like Resi, you know?
I think
Basic
so.
Model.
Made the model?
Yeah. It's not clean.
But it's something.
Why would you bother making it even more difficult for yourself if what you're going to see is just top view?
I mean, yeah.
Why you want to
Haha.
see her coochie or something?
No,
There is
like
a three-
the leg is like
that's all
janky.
right. Hold on, I am not properly allegiant.
Oh, you have American and English flag.
Yeah, I'm not Winston Churchill.
Blasteran.
I refuse. I'm not here to make friends. I'm Liam Lawson.
You're a Mozzie.
No, I'm from New Zealand. Liam Lawson.
All right.
Liam is from. Oh, yeah.
Attempt number. I don't know. I lost count.
7? I think it's 7.
I think so too. Operation Blue Typhoon.
I'm suddenly craving a stuffed crust pizza. I'm gonna spend $60 to buy 3 pizzas. Money.
Why can I not see them?
They haven't loaded in.
Loud and clear. Over.
Oh my god, 8-day standard tier 1.
This is Zeus. Multiple tangos spotted entering and leaving the building. Thunder 1, approach with caution. Infiltrate, acquire
Understand?
proof of their plans,
me.
and exfiltrate. Over.
Wilco, Thunder 1 out.
Okay, see him. Ready?
Ready.
Oh,
Three.
I'm off the shooting.
Through. Okay,
angle.
never mind.
Oh, they went
They walk
right.
back.
I think they're going here.
There's one.
We were
there's
not
two.
in the
Yeah,
positions to take them out at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I'm gonna check the map.
They're going back to the left. Going back to the left.
Yep. Lu mau nangkep di mana, Gus? Depan-depanan.
We're capturing him?
Ya,
Go like this.
jangan depan-depanan kalau pengen capture dong.
I'm going like this. I'm going from the furthest side I can.
On the ground.
Wow. To be honest, I have no idea how are we supposed to like
We can capture them.
yeah, I
They're
mean like
fully fucking-
tell
Target restrained.
I'm not sure how to tell them to hands up with they will see us on the way. Are we
If this high caliber Desert Eagle does not, where are the 2 guys that was here?
They went back.
Checking map. They
I'm a deagle.
they are walking back towards the gate.
Yeah, I hear them. Ready?
Lightly. No, I see one guy.
I have a shot on the back. 3, 2.
I see me. Yeah, that's
Okay.
my fault. Bad precision.
Need to reload.
I did have a shot there.
Where's the other corpse?
I thought this thing would pack more of a punch. It sounds like a normal pistol. I'm disappointed now.
I say for yourself. I
They
did a
are
one shot.
inside the crate. Inside the crate.
No, the deagle I meant.
Yeah,
They're going
I am
out to
using the
pray.
deagle.
No, but like it doesn't sound like it's a deagle.
Maybe because you have it suppressed.
Going out the crate.
I have the
True,
shot on the back.
Going out there.
Through 3, 2, 1. Can you guys shoot them? Hello?
I'm in the fucking
I
map.
don't see them.
Prepared, sir.
I thought we were waiting for them to go where we want them to go.
They're walking towards
side.
us.
I don't have vision. I needed to walk the extra step forward today
Right.
for some reason.
Should I heal myself? I guess I should. Healing myself.
Need to reload.
Checking map. And they're walking away.
Maybe.
Just wait for them to until they reach this place. And when they turn around, we shoot them in the head.
I see one. I see this guy.
I see nothing.
Okay, they're turning around.
Okay,
Oh, no, the steps
you guys lagging?
weird. Yes,
A little bit.
very.
they're coming back. They're facing me.
I see one.
They saw me. They saw me. They saw me. They saw me.
Target neutralized.
I'm turning off the car.
I swear
The generator.
on God's green earth.
I think we should switch hosts after this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm streaming as well.
Perchance.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the thing.
Above? Okay.
Yeah.
I see
On my
nothing.
screen, you guys are lagging.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I see
I
nothing.
have view of one.
I can kill this guy.
I have view of 1, 2, 3.
Hold on a second.
I have another view on this.
I have a view on this guy only.
Okay. You get that guy, I'll get the guy on the far right. Far back.
I don't think I can. What does the red circle mean? I lost vision. Lost
That
vision.
circle means you can hit it. Selama apa gak ada X itu, you can hit him.
I see the guy here. I have a shot.
I don't know yet. I don't anymore. Fuck.
There's a guy here.
Yep, I have
Yeah, I can
Here.
take that guy.
Here.
There's two of them though.
I don't have a shot of this guy right here.
My connection is lost.
For real?
No way.
Yeah. Let's go booted back to the start. Should I join back or should we just
Yeah, you should join
fully
back.
host?
Try and join back. See what happens. Wait.
Rejoining?
Whoa. Oh, wait.
Yeah, if you go
Okay.
upstairs, there's people up there.
Yeah, there's people here already.
Why am I
Yeah.
back at the beginning?
I can't open the door, but I can attack them from here, from the door.
Can you open the door?
I I can try. Okay, I can.
Okay.
I can get these two on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to you guys.
I have 1, 2, 3.
Ah, they're moving again. God, I have a, I feel very vulnerable with a fucking door behind me. Dude.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Like the fucking three people won't come in unless they're alerted. I have a shot on this guy. I can take it. I can take it.
Goose.
Mhm.
I'm
I have no one in vision now. Can only see this guy.
I have, yeah, same.
one guy
Oh,
coming.
this guy's coming. Yeah, I can kill the guy coming.
Not
I can kill the
anymore.
guy here.
I can.
Ki, can you move here?
Gonna take a while. 1 second.
I can get this guy. I can get this guy.
I would like for us to have a view of at least 2 each.
I have.
I have too many on
I
my
have
view.
2 now.
And what about you?
I see
I
one
got
here.
2 now.
Can you
I
shoot?
at
Can you
least
see this
3.
guy? Ki,
Nada.
you are in cover, right? Can you like press A so your character peeks out?
Yeah, I see. I, I see
They're
two now,
moving.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, that means we can.
Loading.
What we can do now? Okay, target check. Who see who?
I see one because the guy moved.
I can
Just
see
the
that
the
guy
guy further moved.
and that guy.
Okay, I got 3 on the back. Ready?
Ready?
Okay.
You get
3.
the one
Oh,
on
they're
my
moving. They're
pinky.
moving. They're moving. Hold on.
No, I can't shoot the one here. I can't shoot him.
You gotta
You can't
swing.
shoot him. Okay.
Do you want to wait or swing?
Okay.
I lost one on
I
the
think
back.
we wait. I think we wait a bit more.
Yeah, we should wait.
One at the back here.
Okay,
But
so
I'm
there's
sorry,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 people.
I have vision on here. That's a shot on none.
Just gotta wait.
Guy here moving. Back to its. Just I don't know. I have a shot on this guy now.
Yeah. I can get the guy there.
He's moving off though.
My God, they are takilan.
Yeah. I'm giving my mouse on him. As soon as he stops moving, I can take a shot.
Yeah.
Not
Ready?
yet. Not yet. Not yet.
I can
Okay.
collect 2 people.
Okay. Ki, you gotta you gotta push in when we start shooting. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. A bit too late on the push in.
Those
Ah, fuck.
things I can
I
touch.
got shot from behind.
Roger, Thunder 1. Diffusion possible. Intel is top priority. Zeus out. Thunder 1.
Oh my god. I'm hitting.
Out. Be advised, Thunder 1. Enemy vehicle approaching the AO at high speed on the Luton Road.
I tried crashing out.
From behind. The group came up behind me and just went blasted.
I think we should
No,
switch
I
host.
I don't know if it's just me, but
yeah.
I shot them. I didn't kill them or something.
Who?
The guy that was my target. I dumped the whole
I
time
mean,
on him.
who's hosting? Who's hosting?
Okay. Yeah, kau Agus. Who else?
Ako.
Mhm.
Alright then. What's game? EV. BE mods enable.
Petrova, we may
Yes, server
finally
sets.
have what we need to take
Private.
Marco down.
Server
According to her
password.
intel,
Sama aja kayak
Saber
tadi.
has been funding its operations
No.
by
Bro.
You don't need to. You can just join me.
Ya. Ya gue udah nggak masalah dong samain kayak tadi.
Salah. How do I ini?
Just wanna make it more
Enable,
difficult.
invisible armor, resurrection. Ini iya deh. Enable, yang sama semua kita tadi ya. WZ ini juga tadi.
Sausage and pepperoni stuffed crust.
Banana headgear.
Let's put that instead of all the meats.
M4A1
Thanks to
ini tadi juga
Petrova, we
ya.
may
Kak, ya?
finally have what we need to take
I
Marco
don't think I have
down.
that.
Don't remember.
According to her
Okay.
Tapi nyalain
intel,
aja senjata
Saber has
doang.
been funding its operations by smuggling narcotics over
with
the border.
Gorka
Their
tracksuit
main
ya, mainan.
distribution
Yeah, sure. Chicken Hawaiian.
Thanks to Petrova, we may
Cake, I just press break on my ass.
Our mission is to put a stop
Bacon
to
growth.
Which
Ayun.
one was it? Blue Typhoon ya?
Petrova. We may finally have what
Yeah.
we need to take Marco down.
Okay.
According to
Your game. Pancasila
Game.
Army Camp.
Wait, oh alah. Wait, hah?
Yang ada cuma
Why is the helmet not there? Wait, no, cancel.
I don't think-
Helmet wasn't.
Do you
I don't
even
know.
have the thing?
The helmet, I think I disabled it by accident.
Yeah. Just make a new one and
No. We have to have the helmet. That was good looking. I don't want to see my face like this.
Valid.
I see Buffalo Ranch Pizza. I don't think that would be great, wouldn't it?
Pancasila Army gue salah. Fucking enable. Mana tadi? Helmnya apa namanya tadi?
Tactical helmet
I
something.
think helmet plus accessories kan ya. Sorry di enable. Yeah, I turned that off by accident. Oops.
Smart.
Oops. Is it in?
Udah dah.
we may
Dah.
finally have
Right.
There we go. Bum, para, bum, para, bum, bum.
What's the difference? Wait. Oh, the color.
I can get a 1.5 liter Pepsi regular. Nah, I just Pepsi Max I got. That's for €5.74.
Oh, now you're over the budget, Key.
Yeah, because I have the M9 for some reason. And I do have 3 medkits.
Wait, where's the gun? How much is the gun? The gun.
M4A1 wrist flip. Ooh.
I can't put fucking thing on it. Damn.
What's the difference between the Starnag and the PMAG? Piercing?
I think.
PMAG? Boonie hat, non-ballistic.
Mod requirement. Dude, I already have everything. What do you mean?
Wait, can I bring Claymore? Should I bring Claymore?
Up to you.
I can bring Claymore, yeah. Electronic toolkit. Oh, no, I need the 5 round. Oh, the optic would be so much nicer. Yeah. No. I'll take the. Because I can see through the door first, at least. Or, adalah Claymore aja. I have electronic toolkit and Claymore.
only have a medkit. Wait, I can have a lot more.
Wait.
So.
Wait, I wanna try the theory if I can explode the truck with a claymore or not.
The what with the claymore?
The truck that comes in when we are.
We ask the age-old question: will it claymore?
That is a massive scope.
Oh my god!
Well, whatever it is, really up. Just try the eruptor and Helldivers and it goes insane. Well, it is in fact, it is an explosive. It works pretty good on the flash mob. What else did you try, Damien?
You can add a fast on Ada.
I don't see why not. So, the invisible armor thing has a rating of ballistic rating of 1, and I want to have more armor. So this is the best I can do without compromising much about the fashion. The only problem with the eruptor is probably we have kind of aim with it. The termite nades guarantee the fat guy dies. Throw and run. Wait, you have the termite grenades this whole time, and you have not been using them? Oh. Wow. No, right. Well, that's an oversight on your part. Well, at least now you have found a way to kill them faster. I don't have the raptor.
I'm gonna bring a fire.
Which
and
fucking
114
sucks.
Incendiary.
Incendiary? What? Ano?
Burn. Need I say more?
Yeah, I wonder how does that will work tactically speaking.
How?
Burn.
Yung incendiary mo?
No, grenade. Incendiary grenade.
It costs 5.
Yes, I apparently now have a budget to spend. Somehow. Wait, I can't change the Oh, there you go. I'm a moron. Don't step on snack. I'm being Lawson. Wait, no, wrong button, sorry.
Ready?
Hey. Attempt number 8.
Should I get a
Stations, this is Zeus. Radio check. Over.
I'm a hungry
All
myself.
units, this is Zeus. Multiple tangos spotted entering and leaving the building. Thunder 1, approach with caution. Infiltrate, acquire proof of their plans, and exfiltrate. Over. Miracle, Tango 1, out.
I don't know if you guys have the shot or not.
I have shot 2.
No, where's the other guy? There's 3, no?
Yeah,
You
this
know?
in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me of
They're coming this
Foxhole.
way, no?
Oh, I don't. That's a really old one.
They will see me, I think. I have no shot whatsoever.
I'm gonna check the map a bit. There's only 2. The patrol only has 2. I'm just gonna capture it when they turn around from me.
Yeah.
Wow.
This one.
So much about capturing.
So much about capturing.
At least
I
this
got an
time
American
didn't
gun.
give them
We are
warning.
killing. I got an American gun. We're killing.
It was
Where's
that
the other guy?
easy.
Where's like? Oh wait, there's only one.
Checking map.
Check him out.
Only 1. Wait, why there's only 1?
I have no fucking
So,
idea.
you know
I
what?
got it.
Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him.
Have
Don't
the
shoot
shot.
him. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him.
Yeah.
On the ground.
He sees someone,
Enemy down.
Yeah, I wonder who.
Wasn't me.
White backpack? Hell yeah.
This will be your downfall. Okay.
Where's
only-
the men in? Where are the men in head? I mean, in shed. Are they in shed or are they men?
outside of shed.
Outside shed. They're going in now. There's only one. Again.
Where is he? Can you ping him?
You can see the inside. Oh yeah, I haven't changed that. My bad. I didn't change that.
Flame.
He's in. I didn't change.
Wait. What? Oh yeah,
He's inside.
there's just one.
There's only one. Wait, did I make it arcade?
I don't know.
I
I
did.
lost connection again. What the fuck?
Well, this is how we test it.
We made it arcade. I mean me. I made it arcade. Yep.
I lost connection again.
You can just reconnect.
Yeah, but it's fucking annoying as shit because I have to go back from the start.
Drop your weapon.
Does that mean your health and ammo resets?
Target restrained.
My ammo reset. It's either that or I haven't fired anything. Nope, my ammo reset. I have fired something. Wait, I'm going on top of the ladder.
Papangado. I really want to just go in and guns blazing, but I'm gonna wait until you guys are in position.
We're in arcade, so we probably can.
I have vision on 3 people. Uno, dos, tres.
Oh wait, the claymore, right?
I'm wearing
Oh.
black. They shouldn't be able to see me, right?
I mean, it should be fine.
They stopped at the truck, so what if I just put it behind the truck? Like this. No.
Ambitra.
That's fucking wrong. Dumb fuck. My bad. Language.
No need to be sorry. Language is a funny concept.
Hold on, let me get into position for. Oh, I shouldn't run. Okay.
I see 2 people. One here, one here. One close, one far. I lost sight of the one far.
I
He's
can
right
get
there.
the guy there. I can get the guy there.
Wow.
I pressed. Ow. I got something back. Great. I fat fingered my control. I am sorry.
Roger that, Thunder 1.
I
Proceed to
fat
defuse if
fingered.
possible. Gathering intel is top priority. Zeus out. All units, Thunder 1 has been compromised. Expect heavy resistance. Out. Be advised, Thunder 1. Enemy vehicle approaching the AO on the move. Zeus out.
Oh my god, move.
Fuck off. They went further back. God damn it. Only one hits. Okay, they went for. Okay. Okay.
What's control over the bomb? Oh shit.
I like how you immediately run around.
I'm dead.
Lobby dulu. We reset this thing.
Yeah, you just bring us there.
And that
We
was attempt 8, boys.
We make it.
Over.
No, we don't count that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we count that. The fuck?
We do. You just failed.
Wait, how do you change arcade?
Match setting. In the
Where is that?
match setting. On the left of briefing.
On the left. Oh, match setup.
Yeah, match setup, match setting, potato. Tomato.
No one says that, please.
and oh yes. Together or not, I don't know. Realism.
Tomato exit, but potato no. Get the fuck out of here.
Reveal UAV. Players on me.
On their bikes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11. Keep going.
There is no time for us to gather better intel, unfortunately. We have to act before they find out Petrova is missing and clean house.
Nah.
I am not comfortable with the aim whatsoever. Can I? Is it possible to change anything? In the game? Running mode, aiming mode, auto reload. Yes, I just put yes.
Maybe not enough bombs. Really? Wait, this is cheaper? Huh?
Guys, I'm starting to think no matter what guns, no matter what equipment we use, if we fuck up, we fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We can always try different stuff. Wait, I have a new legs color. What is that? Oh, new legs. I mean.
You got new legs.
More
What are you,
weapons.
Joe?
Ooh.
What are you, Joe Swanson? That joke flew over everybody there and I love it.
Doing like that, yeah. Hell yeah.
My pizza will be here in 45 minutes. Until then,
Fine.
just gotta hit my shots, right? You think you can cross me?
Attempt 9, boys. Let's
Guys,
not
think about it.
think about what? Just don't fat finger.
Every time you watch a Jason Statham movie, he's always a working man.
Cloud 9, copy 5 by 5. Over.
Think about it.
Copy that.
He's always either a teacher, a diver, a construction worker.
Why am I not seeing anyone?
I see no one. Yeah, it's just not loading up yet. Either that or it's buggy and we're just gonna enter.
We'll enter. Can you imagine no one actually spawns?
That would make it insanely funny and
Check
easy.
them out.
This is use. Multiple
Yeah, I
tangos
see
spotted
nobody.
entering and leaving the building.
I see no one.
Number 1, approach with caution. Infiltrate.
Oh, I see
acquire
people
proof of
now.
their plans, and exfiltrate. Over.
See?
Wilco.
Well, I guess the map is useless.
I don't. No one is here. What the fuck?
Oh, I see. I see one. I'm going from the back.
Hands where
I fired 7 bullets
Oh, you're dead.
into his dome.
Cover me.
I fired 7 bullets into his dome.
Your sacrifice will be remembered.
No,
That-
it won't. Because we'll fuck up again.
I don't know what to say
I
then.
fired 7 bullets into his dome, and I'm useless. I see nothing.
Okay,
on the map.
okay. I'm about
You
I'm
know.
about to check whether or not this is a ping issue or not.
It's. I think I fucked up the UAVs. I think.
No, just
wait-
you
I
you
did it
you
first.
don't shoot. Let me shoot these two. Hold on.
I heard something.
There's absolutely no one in the map or just
The
yeah
map is
the
fucked. I saw one. I saw two. There is.
damn bro, just check.
Okay.
Empty. Cover me.
He fires fast. Oh wait, what the fuck?
Right. It takes a while, but he dies.
I still not see anyone. Fucking.
It's the UAV setting probably.
Someone's inside. Someone's inside. Inside here.
Okay.
Or he went out again. Oh wait. here it
Shooting
is.
3, 2, 1. Okay.
For her, I guess.
Empty. Cover me. Empty. Cover me.
I'm about to morbid. It's morbid time.
You're about to
This is-
morph all over.
This is starting to piss me off. I'm not gonna lie. I fired 7 bullets into his freaking dome.
I can shoot the guy in the back if you want.
when they turn around.
Okay. I fired the guy for this. Ready?
Reloading.
Wait.
He was still alive.
No, there's a...
This is Zeus. Thunder 1
Someone
has
went
been
out.
compromised. Expect
Right.
heavy resistance. Out. 90 explosives. Destroyed evidence. Yes, this is Thunder 1. Overheard information about possible explosives in the AO. Advice. Over. Roger that, Thunder 1. Proceed to defuse if possible. Gathering intel is top priority. Zeus out. Number 1, enemy vehicle approaching the Emerald at high speed from the north road. Zeus out.
Six five so bad.
I'm in the open. Ah, I got shot while crossing cover.
I see you.
Okay, so
Why did the guy get out? I don't know.
it was your
Just-
restart.
I have a question.
What do you want to change if we go back to the lobby? Oh yeah, the UAV. Never mind.
Oh yeah, UAV here.
I have a question.
What's up?
Yes.
Wait, for
We may finally have what we need to
are
take
you
Marco
are you
down.
fucking for real?
According to
My
her,
game bugged.
Saber has been funding its operations by smuggling narcotics
What's wrong?
over the border. Their main
I'm
distribution
yeah,
is in
my
America.
fucking UI bugged. I have to fucking rejoin the
They're
lobby.
sending
That's it.
you in to secure the location and recover key intel on their buyers. Your insertion point is a discrete location in the scrapyard to the south of the factory. There is no time for us to gather better
Okay, my
intel.
question. For the perception visibility, do you have more visibility with lower, like in the interface settings, or intensity of the fog that appears at the edge of your character's perception? So if I lower that, I should have more vision, yeah, basically.
I have a 0.05, 0.85.
How do you check that?
The settings.
Settings game. I'm gonna lower it and see if it's actually gonna help me because I am blind as fuck.
Perception. Adjust the intensity of the fog that appears at the edge of your character's perception. What do you guys have it on?
I just lowered it to 0.4 because I
I
can't
don't
be
change
bothered.
anything.
I used to have it on 0.9.
Did you change the UAV settings, mate?
Yeah, I did. And we always disable aja. I start. I'm so sorry.
I'm done anyway. Don't worry.
Someone is eager.
I was going to press ready to start. Okay, I can see them now.
Stop right.
Ready?
Strong Cloud 9, copy 5 by 5. Over.
Copy, copy, copy.
Ready as I'll ever be.
All units, this is Zeus. Multiple tangos spotted entering and leaving the building. Thunder 1, approach with caution. Infiltrate, acquire proof of their plans, and exfiltrate. Over. Wilco, Thunder 1, out.
Motherfucker.
This thing fires fast.
Reloading.
Habis sih. Holy shit.
What gun is it?
The M4A1 that we added.
Mm.
This thing fires fast. Langsung kena.
Two guys. I have the shot on the left guy.
I have a shot on right guy. 3, 2, 1.
I shot 4 bullets at him. What?
I have concluded that this is not a ping issue, but just skill issue.
How many more bullets do you want me to fucking waste?
Dude, I only need one shot. I don't know what's your problem, man.
I hit him. He
Yeah,
didn't
you,
die.
yeah.
It is not my fucking fault.
I don't know. Maybe. Hey, let's do it again. Have the shot on the left. Never mind, he moves.
They're moving. They're moving.
So I still have a shot though. Wait, not anymore. Not anymore.
They're in the building.
I can try and wallbang them. I don't know if that's possible.
What was that sound?
They're coming out. They're coming out. They're coming out. They're coming out.
They're coming on.
I don't have the
Empty! Cover me!
Yeah, I'm fucking done with this game, man. This is...
Oh, they got the one down. Ah, they went in. One dead. I'm gonna turn off the thing.
Cover me!
From the top.
I'm just gonna secure the entire the rest of the complex first before doing anything about the main objective actually.
Did they stop there? Hold on, I'm setting up the claymore.
So we're gonna get the guys outside first.
I'm clearing the complex right now.
The complex you mean?
The room that you just got backstabbed from. And the
yeah.
upstairs.
I'm coming to you then.
About to start dancing with the 3 people outside.
Bloody no!
Ooh, fire. They got alerted. Group is alerted.
They are.
Expect heavy resistance.
There's someone on top of the stairs and I don't see them.
Enemy vehicle approaching the AO at high speed on the Norton Road. Zeus out.
I killed 3.
Let's run it back. Attempt number 10. Let's go. They saw me.
Tango down. Moving.
Might as well use the medkit.
Empty. Cover me.
There's on the right guy.
I got the far one. 3, 2, 1, go.
Tango down.
You wanna kill the guys in the back first? There. One there.
Sure.
Or no?
Sure.
What was that noise?
Oh no.
I have no sight of them.
One of them seems to be quite alert to the noise.
Oh, it's
that we
inside,
made.
yeah.
4 guys now, not 3 anymore. 4 guys. 1 guy running back. 3 left. They turned their back.
I
better
do.
shot.
Let's follow them for a bit. When they turn around, just weapons free. Wait, hold. Hide. When they get close enough, just ambush them, I guess. Key, can you move here instead?
There's a door. There's a door there. That's a door.
One.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Target down. To reload.
You got them all?
I can't see him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
Is this the door?
Yes.
Do you wanna open that?
Door.
Can we open that?
I don't think so. Do you want to try
Ah,
kicking?
fuck.
Do you want me to try kicking it?
We'll alert everyone inside. That's the problem.
But here's the
If
thing.
everyone inside
If
alerted,
we-
we'll be fine. Yeah.
If we bait them to check what's here, we can just ambush them.
There's people behind the door.
So cover me then.
The alert guys running towards us. The alert guys running
From where? From where? From where?
On me.
Okay, he's dead.
Okay. What do we want to do with this door?
I don't know. I don't have a lot picking.
Need to reload.
This there's not even an open option.
Really? Oh, you have to blow it up then. Fuck.
That's a no on the door. Not you're not gonna want to try anything.
No.
Okay.
Not,
let's move on.
Not for mine. 2, 7, 2 in the cabin. I mean, in the hut, in the. I don't know what the fuck that is. The fucking lodge. I don't see the 2 in the lodge is unconfirmed though. No, man, confirmed. They're walking out the lodge.
We're clear. We're clear.
I don't know how to do this. Okay.
Soldier.
They saw me. They saw me. They were in fact paying attention.
Buddy, no. Stay with me. Loading ammunition.
I could use some help.
Be advised, Thunder 1. Enemy vehicle approaching the AO at high speed on the moving road.
You
Cease
didn't
out.
put the claymore on, did you?
Then we went around, not to the front. I don't think the timer works on the car.
Hostiles. Quick, find the explosives. Destroy the evidence. This is Thunder 1. Overheard information about possible explosives in the AO. Please advise, over. Roger that, Thunder 1. Proceed to defuse if possible. Gathering intel is top priority. Cease out.
Loading ammunition.
Since we have visual on enemy transport.
Oh my god!
How are 3 men supposed to do this? Can we have a fourth?
We're fighting a whole army. We're fucking.
It's not even about fighting the whole ass army. It's just
Our best attempt is still with the
We're going to
Ambush.
The front, yes.
ambush from the vantage point above.
I guess we could just run that again. Oh.
You know, if no one mess up their aim or fat finger the buttons or anything.
see, that's why my philosophy works. Just unbind the fucking arrest button and just kill.
They're going around now.
You won't fat finger the arrest button. We don't make any arrests.
We don't make any arrests.
They're going right, by the way.
Right?
Yes, they're going right. They're going here. Oh, never mind. Vision. I'm in the open. I'm in the fucking open. Ah! I couldn't touch you guys.
Nice.
Nice. They went right and then left. Like, what the fuck, bro?
But it's kind of funky, huh?
This is a Joker lab. Vision on close guy.
Hold on. I wanna try something.
I vision on far guy too.
Let me shoot. 3 bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, he went away. He's running. My first shot went through the first guy, but didn't hit the follow-ups.
Need to reload.
NTR, need to reload.
I'm gonna look at the map.
Nice.
Hold on. They're outside. Going into the thing now. Walking.
I have a shot. Anyone else?
I don't.
I do.
Go.
Second guy left.
Dead.
Cover me!
One more.
Target down!
Dead.
Some help, buddy. No. Stay with me.
Why is he suddenly so...
I don't see anyone else.
Buddy, no, stay with me. Mayon na ka na
He was
doon.
dead by the way, but he's still going come with me.
You wanna put down your claymores?
Oh wait, no. People they're alerted. The group is alerted.
The big 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
Be careful. We'll wait.
They're alerted, but not moving anywhere.
Yeah. Just be careful, that's what I'm saying.
Do you wanna put down your claymores?
It's down.
They're missing one person. They're only
We
6.
shot one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, one dead.
I think that's what they're alert.
What about the patrol? I would like to kill
They
these
just-
patrol.
They just got back to their position, like missing one person. They just,
He's dead. Oh well.
oh no, Gustav dead. Heart attack maybe. We go back.
I want to kill the patrol
Must have
that's
been the way.
around this
Three
building.
patrols? Yeah, okay, sure. Give me 2
I'm turning off the
seconds,
generator.
I shall come with you. Just make sure I don't fall off the stairs again. Turns out
Oh,
fall off the
alerted.
stairs.
Careful.
But 40 kilograms of body armor is not good.
I'm just gonna stay behind the generator until you guys are in position. Because there are people moving around near the generator. And I'm scared.
Tango down!
Oh,
Stay with me.
They ran towards me, sorry.
people inside the alerted.
Thank you.
Fuck, yeah.
Destroy the evidence. Overheard information. In the AO. Please
I'm sorry about that. They ran towards me.
Roger that, Thunder 1. Proceed
Well,
to defuse it.
let's go loud. Let's go loud.
Is top priority.
Yeah.
Cease
Oh shit.
now.
Kill yourself, then regroup.
Thunder 1 has been compromised.
No. I was confusing, I thought I was clear.
Enemy vehicle approaching the AO at high speed on the Northern Road. Zeus out.
How many in there?
Explosives located.
Around 5.
We have visual on
I
enemy
was clearing this head. I got flanked.
Did my claymore? Oh my god. My fucking claymore got exploded by someone. Fuck.
Premature explosion. Happens all the time.
For real. Oh no.
In some runs, my bullets are like fucking plastic, and the one that like 2 runs before I can kill people. Now I can't anymore. It's a bullet. Are rubber bullets. I changed nothing. Shot the same place. Shot it the same way.
You know what? Just fire at will if you can.
Target down.
Third guy where? Third guy where?
Already dead.
Okay.
You guys take care of the 2 guys over there.
What the hell was that?
The guys inside are alerted.
Yeah, don't get too close to the walls.
Copy that.
What was that?
Goose, I think at least 2 people. What?
Thunder 1 has been compromised. Heavy resistance. Out.
Regroup.
Empty.
We need to raise the place quick.
Ah,
Be
shit,
advised,
wrong
Thunder
button,
1.
wrong
Enemy
button.
vehicle approaching the AO at high speed on the moving road. Zeus out.
I just shot Gorgusnu.
Let us.
Throw the evidence.
Okay. I got shot 3 times and I died.
Information about possible explosives in the AO. Please advise. Over. Roger that, Thunder 1. Proceed to defuse if possible. Gathering intel is top priority. Zeus out.
What the fuck?
The hell?
My bullets are once again made out of rubber.
How are they alerted? How are they alerted? Is it Ada Wong's fucking high heels? Like, what the fuck?
To be honest, I don't know, man.
Why the fuck? Kok orang di dalam jadi jittery anjing? Kita deket dikit ke dindingnya, what was that?
Orang ketiga nongol tembak.
I see nothing.
I see.
Enemy down.
Reloading.
Right, turn on the fucking thing.
Free shot guy on the right.
Okay, got it. Ready? 2, 3.
Target down. Reloading.
I'd like to take out the 3-man patrol on the back here.
You do it alone.
I think I can do that.
Yeah, just don't
I'm
run.
I'm basically fully covered.
2 guys are out. Walking
they're-
out of the
they're out of
cabin
the
as we
thing.
speak.
Hands where I can see.
Interesting. I see. Ada boys.
You
Boys?
trying to arrest them then?
No.
Yeah.
Hands where I can see. Fucking. Okay, I have an idea. What if I just put the claymore on the fucking gate?
The patrol
Walk away.
did not report it. What?
Fuck it. We do it like that. Maybe that
The
will help.
patrol did not report the thing.
At least you're dead, I guess. They didn't saw both of us. It's only you.
What?
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know the logic behind this game. It's simple, but not at the same time. You know?
Yeah, what are you guys waiting right now?
These two.
As soon as these 2 look away, I'm shooting.
Shut up for a second. I hear something.
Fuck off.
They're both dead.
Hold on. I'm going to the generator.
You would think that they would send someone to look at the generators, huh?
Yeah. What happened?
There's one guy here. One guy here. One guy here. 2 at the back.
No. Ready to fire?
I hear someone close to me.
I don't see them.
There's like
One minute.
A little bit more. There you
they moved away a bit. One guy here. One guy here.
I'm ready for this shit.
go. Ready?
Enemy down.
Oh, you killed the guy that I'm supposed to kill.
Reloading.
Been down. Oh shit, that is a lot of.
Hostile. Quick, 90 explosives. Destroy the evidence. This is Standard 1. Overheard information about possible explosives in the AO. Please advise. Over. Roger that, Thunder 1. Proceed to defuse if possible. Gather intel.
Nice try, nice try, nice try.
Cease out.
Did I just explode it straight up or what the fuck?
I think someone shot it.
Very possible. It's funny how this is the most exciting mission we got so far.
And it's 3 levels in.
Yeah.
It's killing me inside.
It's fucking annoying, yeah. It's fucking hard.
It's fun though.
Yeah.
I stop having fun 7 tries ago, not gonna lie.
You got him? Okay.
Reloading.
Shot the far guy.
Ready?
Yep.
I'll get the far guy. Ready? Fine.
Okay.
One back.
Are you fucking for real?
I think that was lag.
Fucking for real?
They're inside the shed.
Oh yeah?
I can hear them.
No, they're not.
They walked out. Okay.
Okay, I have a shot on this guy. Anyone?
Again. Yep.
Yeah.
Ready? Fire.
Need to reload.
So the claymore doesn't fucking work. There. So what shall I do?
Ditch the
Put
claymore.
another one. Yeah. No. I'm not.
I wonder if it has friendly fire.
Don't try it. I don't have a shot. You guys got it?
have a
I
shot
see
at
one.
the guy near. Not the guy far.
I got shot from behind me. Holy shit.
Calling me.
Units, this is Zeus. Thunder 1 has been compromised.
I
Expect
did not
heavy
see that.
resistance.
Fucking
Out.
goddamn it.
Hostiles. 30 explosives. Destroy the evidence. Roger that. Defuse if possible. Gathering intel. Priority. Be
Oh.
advised, Thunder 1. Enemy vehicle
Storyline died
approaching
already.
at high
I didn't
speed
notice.
on the Milton Road. Zeus out.
I will avenge you.
We have visual on enemy transport.
What's their vision cone like?
Pretty good. I think it's the fact that it's top down, but it's actually 3D. Like giving us false sense of security. Like if our characters pops up out of cover because the cover is too short, they can see that.
What can trigger them? You know? What
Yes.
triggers the alarm? That's what I really want to know.
Yeah, sometimes it's not really that.
Like sometimes
Consistent.
they can run inside, you can kill them inside and it's fine. Sometimes it doesn't. Like what the fuck?
Shoot the third guy, Gus.
Got it. Ready? Fire. Oh my god.
How do you let that happen?
I
We're
still.
fine. We're fine.
Jeez.
Shot in the chest and like my thing like, goes around. No fuck. I need that zoomed in more. I didn't see it. I got the far one ready.
Yeah.
Open fire.
Okay.
Fucking, I hate this game so
Dead.
much, man. This is frustrating.
Oh, I'm wounded and I am stumbling. That's why my aim is like swinging.
Yeah, my aim's not swinging. I'm just not killing. Bitch ass.
Is it stable now? A little bit.
I'm ready to shoot. 3, 2, 1. He's not dead. He's not dead. I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh, just say so if you shoot him. It's just full silence.
My character doesn't say anything. I don't know. I thought he was
Beautifully.
pissed off as well.
He
You should
died
say something when he's
gracefully.
dead. No, because like usually when someone kills like, oh, yeah, enemy down. In diem anjir.
Dan ada diem aja.
I think they're also pissed off because it's a fucking bullshit. I should be able to shoot them from here.
Yeah, same.
Both?
One, I think.
When
We
both-
need them to move in.
When both come into view, when
One
both
view.
come. Okay, when they turn around, I'm
Second
going
view.
to peek out.
I'm shooting the far guy.
Okay, got it. Ready? Fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Okay, do you guys want to clear out the patrols that we can take out, the 3 people, just to lessen when we got
Oh.
found out
Yeah.
eventually? Yeah, let's do that.
I thought you were gonna take out the 7. I pulled out my fucking incendiary.
To be honest, we can do that. We can try that.
Nah, we just clear the 3 first.
Yeah, clear the
Or we can
3.
do the-
Clear the 3. I don't think we would need the incendiary grenade for the 7 people. I have
But
a
if shit goes wrong, we could throw the incendiary on the main door.
yeah, precisely. I was thinking maybe like yeah, it's clear for now.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
go
in.
watch. Okay,
I'm going to the bushes,
someone
actually.
keep watching the main door.
Yeah, you go right.
Okay. Yeah, the patrol is coming in. I am completely covered. How about
I'm not
you?
with you. I'm not with you. I'm not with you.
Completely covered.
I'm watching the main door.
Okay.
Okay, Goose, you shoot the first guy on my
Ready?
go.
Gus, where is your claymore facing by the way?
Hold on.
I
Ntar aja.
think
3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That
there was a
when
fucking ada seng nggak kelihatan jadinya anjir. I can wallbang the fucker tuh.
okay. Let's go back.
Empty. Cover me.
The claymore is facing east.
It's facing, yeah. I try to get like they go down from there. Jadi aku kayak try to get it because the claymore doesn't explode the car. It doesn't trigger. It triggers when someone is on it.
I'm going to open the plank of woods before we do some
I don't know where
shenanigans.
east is.
It's at the bottom of your UI.
Oh,
I'm turning off the thing.
yeah.
We're going for the 7 people, no?
Yeah, you can go from here.
The claymore has friendly fire. I'm running. I'm going in after I'm done healing.
The fucking generator exploded. God damn it. I get a lot.
Vehicle approaching the AO at high speed on the move.
The claymore has friendly fire, guys.
I might want to change my gun. It's not comfortable at all.
Okay, we go to the lobby then.
No, I know it doesn't matter about that. Really, this one working at all. Ridiculous
Like,
dog
oh.
water.
I thought you threw a flashbang or something, but I turned around. Oh yeah, Claymore. Oh, you.
I had an inkling, like if I step on it, I would probably
It's fully
die.
red. You can't blame me for placing it there. It's fully red. You can see the cone.
Yeah,
I'm not blaming you.
that's
Okay, yeah. Fucking. I thought like, apa pas lu bilang, I thought we were going for the 7 people. You already threw a flashbang in or something. But I just
Why would I do
sorry.
that?
I thought you were like further in near them. It's like boom. Oh, kok jauh. Oh, Claymore. It's like the realization like it's so delayed.
I need the fucking silencer for this shit.
Oh fuck, that's so funny.
I'm gonna bring all armor piercing rounds.
Ini Claymore bawa gak sih?
Bebas, kalau mau bawa aja.
Nggak usah.
No, like, even if right, it probably just kills 1 or 2 people.
Bebas, lu mau bawa aja. Permasalahan itu bukan claymore, bukan senjata. These stupid ass clown events that keeps happening for whatever reason. Kecuali lag sama ping. Itu nggak bisa dikontrol. Nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, just for the last one, I'm gonna bring a lockpicking kit just in case.
Udah apa aja? Fat finger, claymore.
Claymore.
Start.
Oh, fuck the Claymore. Aduh, anjing. Badut ini sumber kebadutan aja. Kemarin itu on the ground.
This is Zeus. Radio
I still remember that bullshit. Benar-benar capture aja. Okay. Bang on the ground.
Drop your weapon.
You can't blame me for that one.
Fingers again.
All units, this is Zeus.
Jesus.
Multiple tangos spotted entering and leaving the building. Thunder 1, approach with caution. Infiltrate, acquire proof of their plans, and exfiltrate. Over.
Looking towards us, 1. I only see
What's the
1, 2, 3.
We can go. We can do it quickly. We'll just wait. We'll move in.
I'm just gonna shoot it.
I almost shot someone.
Okay.
What, is he alive?
Expect heavy resistance. Out.
I think if he's still shooting, I think he's still alive. That's
He's
why.
not shooting anymore.
Target
What do you mean? The reason why I'm running is because I don't know if he's dead or not.
Be advised, Thunder 1. Enemy vehicle approaching the AO at high speed on the northern road. Zeus out.
Brother, holy shit. Forgot you have an RPD.
Moving.
Go in front of me, man. That fucking gun.
Faster. Quick. Find the explosives. Destroy the evidence. Yes, this is Thunder 1.
You have
Information about possible explosives.
how much time?
Please advise.
1.5 minutes to disarm the bomb.
Roger that, Thunder 1. Proceed to defuse if possible. Gathering intel is top priority. Zeus out.
I see you. What? You sleeping?
Yes, it's leaving, bitch.
I will avenge you. Oh shit! I'm under fire. I am taking heavy fire.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Ah, fuck.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
I would call that progress actually. Like, I mean like how long we lasted in the straight up gunfight.
Yeah.
Now, and the three boys are coming to your left. Okay. Just stay hidden until they turn around. Until they turn the corner.
Soldiers spotted.
Okay, we got spotted.
Target neutralized.
Dead.
I have a shot on both.
On the... Yeah.
Go ahead.
Shooting 3, 2, 1.
Dead.
Moving.
Checking the map. They're going out now.
I have a shot.
So do I.
Try
Go
not
to
to
what?
get into my line of fire, please.
And
Yeah,
then I'm gonna step away.
Right. Ready?
Go.
Tango down. Empty. Cover me.
I need flex. I no longer have a view of those two from here because of my gun.
I have
I
one
do
too.
actually,
Ready?
but the inaccuracy is very fucking
Go.
high.
Dead. Oh shit, that RPG is terrifying.
Okay, turn off
Those
the
kind of shits
generator.
on accuracy.
Hold on.
I might be able to spray the one on the top down actually with this.
No.
If you wanna do that.
Spray.
No, okay.
Let's focus on spraying the 7 fuckers outside first.
Incendiary in hand.
I say, you keep the incendiary when we get spotted, and then you use it like an entry deny or some shit. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Just gonna put it. Oof.
Do you reckon
Should
if
I put Claymore? Should I put
Last time
Claymore?
I tried to cross here, but they fucking clocked me.
let's see how close I can get without being spotted.
I see.
Where are they again? Here? Oh,
Checking.
there. My game froze. Hello?
You're still here on me.
Uh oh.
I'm not doing anything.
Nope, he's taking spot.
My game
Yeah,
crashed,
same.
bruh.
Insane.
Oh,
Thanks,
wait,
Unreal
wait.
Engine. Yeah.
I can't see with the fire.
With my P90 and your RPD, we're going to mow them down. Wait, where's my mods? Did the mod not load in? Oh well. I have returned.
Watch the Claymore.
I have
There
0
is a Claymore
Glock
here.
magazines. Okay.
I have an M9, so
I have 0 Glock magazines. Right.
how about the P90?
Now the P90 is fine. 4
What
magazines.
about Obama? Obama means fam.
Claymore, repeat Claymore. Go here, I repeat, go from there.
Obama means fam.
Ohana, bitch ass.
Ready? Should we just flash it or not?
Hold on.
What we think?
Mana sih? Where's the group?
Checking on the
Let me
map.
check the map.
On
Yeah, around the.
Megan the Pangers.
Okay, so
Dun, 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 dun.
once Okay, this is what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Oh, I have full view now.
So do I.
Okay. You
View
start
for-
shooting. I'm gonna start swinging. On your go.
Ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Wait. There you go.
Heavy fire here!
Reloading.
Now my game crashed.
Wait.
We got him though. We got him.
I did my part. I did my part. I'm rejoining.
How can you did? Holy shit.
I really
I'm
like
gonna go and take
3,
off.
2, 1. Wait. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
No, because
Habis
because
hilang.
when I put like 3, 2, 1, I press fucking space to fucking
Emo.
uncover kan. I didn't go out of cover, so I'm like, wait, because the game fucking.
Wait.
Care. Ada 3 orang patrol masih di situ.
Yeah,
Siap.
I have a surprise for
They're going out,
Risky
they're going out,
actually.
they're going out. Okay, go in. I think go from the stairs.
No, I'm bringing a body that has a RPD magazines for resonance.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
thingy got reset.
The entire thing?
Oh yeah. Full ammo.
Full ammo.
Oh my god. The
There's
Thunder Tier 1 gods nerf my ass, boys.
Oh yeah, you got no magazine for some reason. So how we do this?
I'm carrying the bodies for possible ammo. If any of these fuckers has
I'm-
P90. I doubt it,
From
but
the top.
They don't. They have like Winchesters and shit.
From the
a
top.
man can only hope.
we-
AKS.
Do we clear the 3 patrol guys, or do we go in the building?
I feel like it's easier to ambush the people inside and outside instead of holding our ground on the inside, you know?
So we go the patrol first then.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Yeah. We can like.
Hold on. Mundur. I see the light move.
Up there, I just realized. No, there's people up on the second floor
Yeah.
from here.
I saw the flashlight moving. We should go around. Oh my god, Gus, you almost blew our cover again.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a window there. My bad.
Uh,
Didn't know there was a window. I didn't know there was a window.
I'm
Wow.
regroup
Terus
with
drive down.
Res.
Okay, copy that. I am running.
I have a total of let's see, 1, 2, 3. I have 200 rounds.
My God, I cannot
I've
run.
got
Too many
10.
magazines on.
I've got 10 mags of 100.
Fuck. How do you fit all that, man? You have 7.62s.
See my backpack? They're all mags. I see 1. 2.
I think you guys can handle
Three.
it, huh?
See all 3. I see all 3.
3, 2, 1,
Defender
swing. Good stuff.
They're dead?
Yeah. Now, I would like to believe the best way to approach this is to go from this side of the building and clear out the stragglers on the side of the building instead of going inside directly.
We.
No intel. No intel? No bitches? Do you have your night vision on?
Mm-hmm.
You see my laser, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you going. We've been clear.
Bop it.
Twist it. Read
Fuck
it.
it.
Jerk it. Whoa.
Whoa. I cannot see.
Can we even shoot them from there?
Yeah, we can.
We can go above, or we can go there.
I'm trying to see if
does
there's
one go
anyone. There's a
There's,
stairs.
there's a ladder there.
Oh.
There's a ladder there, and when we go in here and go left, there is a set of staircase that goes up.
Call me
Okay. We can.
an idiot. I didn't even know there was.
Yeah, I
second
saw the flashlight. We're going here. Follow me.
You know,
We're going there.
A mission where everyone has a fucking night vision, and they can see our IR just going around.
That would be messed up.
You know how to counter it? Flashlights.
Yeah, when they fucking get spotted, we just ding.
Wish
We
me
go
luck,
from there?
boys.
Okay.
Can you like stay here and look at the windows? Like right click.
Oh, you guys cleared got the two guys that's like down here.
I don't have the range. I need to get
Oh, you
closer.
did. Where what's my mission?
Oh, come up here, come up here, come up here.
What?
I see two. I see
All of
two.
it?
I see two bitches.
You guys go ahead.
I see you.
Oh, people down.
Motherfucker.
People below.
Thunder 1 has been compromised.
Well, we're going loud. We're going loud. We're going loud.
I'm going with you guys. Hold on.
Target neutralized.
Climb faster, man.
Be advised, Thunder 1. Golden Road.
I need to reload, brother. I am wounded, brother. I am down, brother. I'm crawling. I'm crawling. I'm crawling. I'm crawling. I'm crawling into cover.
Go upstairs.
Quick, find the explosives. Destroy the
Okay,
evidence.
revive. Revive me. Revive me. I'm going to heal. We need to go in.
Roger that, Thunder 1.
I'm healing.
Proceed to defuse if possible. Gathering intel is top priority. Zeus out.
We have 1.5 minutes.
Reloading. Explosives located. Proceed to defuse. Everyone.
I'm covering, covering, covering.
Incendiary out.
Nice. You got it. Watch the door. The door. The door. The door.
Copy that, Thunder 1. Charlie Mike and locate the intel. Zeus out.
Let me heal up. Heal, bitch, heal. I'm making the fight.
No ammo. Checking sat. I see one in front of Res.
Are you? Oh,
Is dead. Is dead. Is dead.
cover. My fault.
Need to reload.
No what?
Hey. Stay.
Mind the fucking doors. There's doors behind you.
Secure evidence. Where's the evidence?
No
I
idea.
don't know.
Yes, it's somewhere there, no?
It's somewhere in here. I guess we're in the clear. Okay. I'm gonna look around.
Can you like stay still so I can heal you, or you don't need it?
Oh, okay. Oh, tell me if you want. If you're going to heal.
Why would I rub your back for no reason?
I wasn't paying attention. I was moving around.
Of course.
Hehe, back rub.
Where evidence? Where evidence? Good sir.
Look around.
Can I like mix the magazine so I don't have like multiple
I don't
magazines?
think you can. Oh yeah, I was trying that as well in the beginning.
No wait, it's in someone's like lock.
Yeah, I feel like it shouldn't.
Quick drop to the ground.
It's probably like a thing somewhere.
Might have found it. Might have found it. Yeah, I found it.
Nice. Mission complete. Yes. Are we securing?
All it took was 13 attempts.
Copy that.
Not
Thunder
bad.
1. Proceed to
Could be
extract
worse.
evac en route.
Where's evac?
We are going
Thunder
from
1, this is
back.
Storm Cloud 9.
From
We
the
are
back.
Oscar Mike. Landing
I'm
on
checking
your
the
mark.
map.
Once extract point is
If-
out.
around. Oh, people from the evac a lot.
Okay.
Fun.
Wait.
You still have lots of rounds, right? Oh, you know what? I'm
I have
okay. You guys hold. I'm gonna find the nearest corpse and a gun.
There are some scorpions inside.
Yeah, I'm grabbing that. You know what? I have enough rounds for this. I believe. I'm a believer. Wait, do they have any Makarov?
Recommended there are.
I would love to have a pistol, please.
Okay.
Do not engage.
I'm not. I'm just holding. I'm a believer. I believe, and believe, and just believe. Oh my god, there is. Oh, ada 2 orang di dekat sini ya,
Yeah, I
and
saw.
3 more at the back going back and forth. Ada 5, 6, 7, 8,
Excuse me.
9. There are 9 people. I have 3 flashbangs. I will flash.
No, not yet, not yet, not yet.
He you take point. No, gini. I will flash. Resonance take point. I follow behind.
Yeah.
I think they just saw me. Hold on. I need to see where the enemies are in front of us. Oh, they're going back.
Sign of them.
They're going back.
They have a really short attention
1,
span.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people.
There are people directly in front of us, Ki. Be careful.
No, no, no. No, no. Nggak ada.
Okay.
We should have watched our bit smarter by now.
Nah. I don't think there's any picking off here, guys. I think we have to go loud again.
We go guns blazing. I'm gonna chuck 2 flashbang. Ki, you
Oh,
take point,
two of
okay?
them coming back.
Should I flash or no?
Nothing.
On
No.
your discretion.
Yeah, I guess so. Then.
I'm flashing.
Throwing flash.
Reloading.
Right side.
Tango down.
Tango flash.
Flash out. Reloading. Zone 9. This is Center 1.
We got nice.
Extract point has been secured.
Ooh.
Over.
How many times have you failed? This is the 13th attempt. Hell yeah.
Special forces.
That RPD came in clutch, bro. You have 22 kills.